The upsets to the buzzer-beating victories and all the Cinderella stories in between, March Madness is filled with remarkable stories. It's the people who make those stories particularly special. I sat down with longtime NCAA tournament official and St. Louis native Ron Zecher to hear what the madness is like from his point of view.
That was my dream. So every year you get a thing from the FedEx if you're going to be an official in the tournament. One year I finally got it, which I was the #1 rated official in the Missouri Valley Conference. And I went to my first NCAA tournament in 1981.
Beginning his career as a high school official, University City alum Ron Zecher became one of the top basketball officials in the St. Louis area.
Obviously, the game is faster now than it was then. You got guards who are 6'1" or 6'2" who play above the rim. I refereed all three sports. I was a baseball umpire. I was a football official. There's no question, I'll argue with anybody, basketball is without a doubt the hardest sport to officiate.
Zecher's presence at the big dance eventually became his March routine for close to 2 decades.
I had the game that probably is the worst loss in the history of Norm's career, and that was the UCLA-Missouri game in Boise, Idaho. Tyus Edney, with 4.8 seconds, went the length of the floor and scored right before the buzzer to beat Missouri. And UCLA then goes on to win the national championship. You couldn't ask for a better game to referee from an official's point of view. Both teams, they just shot lights out. There were very few calls that were even questionable.
Watching the games, you often see coaches go head-to-head with the official. One of the most famous reactors was the great Bobby Knight.
Dear Ron, over all the years that you were assigned to our games, I found you to be one of the most understanding officials. Hand checking and traveling, you better not miss it. You better not miss it with him. And he didn't want his players to have their hands on their opponent, and you better not let the opponent have their hands on his players with the dribbler for sure. So I'm refereeing an Indiana-Purdue game. Early in the game, Bob starts, get their hands off Ron, and it's like, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing? So finally, about the 4th time down, he says, you know what? You don't find that hand check that's going on out there. I'm coming up on top. And I thought, no, you're not coming on top. I'll find a hand check. And I found one. But he was a purist, and he was right.
To Zech, being an official was about more than the power of the whistle. He said his greatest accomplishments were exemplified by the relationships he made and the lives he touched along the way.
We talk about Hall of Fames, and we talk about NCAA tournaments and all that, and that's terrific stuff. That really is. However, what I would consider my greatest accomplishment is I really think I gave a lot of really young officials and some veteran officials who hadn't quite gotten there yet. I think at least I gave them some good information.
For Sports on 4,
It's treasures.
I'm Tamar Scher.